Mike, check, check, check. Justin Hunt. It's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to everybody subscribed through the channel, who shared a video, shared a link. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate, you can hit the Cash App that's right up there. And big thank you to all my newest members. All my newest members. The Scholarly Savage. That's a dope flip. I am Dan Carlin, my man. I'm going to be on his podcast this week. Finesse for Sale. Token AMK 124S F6, Street Fighter 6 reference, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's Tekken. Maybe it's a fighting game reference. Shout out to you too. Brittany J, Hugh Hundo, lowercase e, 9-second applause. Thank you. If you guys would like to become a member of this channel, there is a link in the description that'll allow you to join. You get access to videos early, you get customized emojis and a few other things. But I'm highly appreciative and I'm thankful for this community. I believe community is extremely important, as you guys know. I think as we venture into this new age, it's very difficult to get there. We're not gonna be able to achieve the things we want without collaboration and community. And so I'm blessed and highly favored for everyone who has donated their time, their subscriptions, their likes, and their dollars, especially in this economy, to help support what we're doing over here. So thank you very much. All right, we got a bunch of stories for today. I spent the weekend working on a few other projects, and so I'm excited for people to see those come out soon. But last video we dropped was the Luther video reaction. And it's always an event when Kendrick drops. Always an event. 1 second applause for Kendrick Lamar. But the video just really captures the beauty, ups and downs of Black love, right? And so we're a couple of days since the video has come out, and now there's all kinds of theories or different pieces of symbolism that have come out. So this is gonna be a quick wrap up on that. We also have what Cheryl Lynn thinks about all of this in this video as well. The first one, big shout out to Dissect Podcast. Now, if you guys don't know Dissect Podcast, punch yourself in the face, right? Dissect Podcast, to me, is the leader, the foremost authority on deep dives into artists who lean heavily into symbolism. Done a lot of great work across a number of different artists. And his Kendrick Lamar work is also extremely noted. I believe he's back to dissecting Mr. Morale right now, if I'm not mistaken. 1 second applause to Dissect Podcast. Really phenomenal work. And so on Twitter this weekend, he posted a list of symbolism that he's noticed throughout this video. So we're gonna take a look at it. Did you notice how Kendrick Lamar's Luther video is dominated by circles? Here's why, right? It's one of those things that caught my eye that I didn't mention in my reaction. I wish I did point that out, but here's the explanation per Dissect Podcast. Here's an example. This is the St. Bonaventure Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. A number of you pointed that out in the comments section. And so you can see the circles here. Here's SZA on top of some big cylinders. Everything is arced, everything is circular. Here's Kendrick and his love interest in this room, a bedroom that overlooks with the sort of Peekaboo. I think it's fair to say the Peekaboo GNX under a red tarp. And here's a circle, looks like one of those transitional things from how I think video reels, when they're moving to another slide, they used to have this circle all the time. All right, so here's Dissect's explanation. A circle is a traditional symbol used across time and cultures to symbolize completeness, harmony and balance, eternity, timelessness. So you have yin yang, Hecat's circle, Enzo, Shu, seed of life, Metatron's cube, hexafoil, the sun cross, Versica, Pisces, Triquetra, star of Shamash, sacred hoop, Taurus yantra, Ouroboros, fruit of life, tree of life. So these are examples of circles prominently throughout time and to symbolize completeness across different cultures. Dissect continues, yin yang is the most well-known. It blends feminine yin and masculine yang, each containing a dot of the other, creating harmony. Harmony comes from embracing both. I like the dot, right? K dot represent, 1 second applause. In the Super Bowl, the circle button was the final button to be activated. Why? Because it was at this point in the story that Kendrick and SZA reunited men and women who separated at the show's start, restoring balance and harmony in his community. So all the visuals right now also connect with the broader elements, broader themes of GNX, which generally connects to all of the broader symbolism that Kendrick has been talking about over the past year. Community, watch the party die, harmony, completeness, right? Here's SZA. Here's Kendrick in the circles. Man, I mean, I've never seen a Super Bowl with that much symbolism ever. People are still identifying, dissecting different elements of that performance. 1 second applause. In Luther, a love song, Kendrick continues to use circles to symbolize harmony, completeness, and eternal love between masculine and feminine. Circles are prominent in nearly every scene. All right, so here's another look at sort of the teaser image we saw at the beginning of this video. You can see the circles there. Look at the circle lights, the artwork, a rounded circle chair. Over here, cylinders for this pedestal. I don't know if this is, I guess it's a speaker with a circle in the middle. This looks like something straight out of the upcoming Fantastic Four. Really, this whole scene looks like it could be in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie from where it seems to be set. So yeah, that's another example. The elevator from the St. Bonaventure when they're going up and down, life's up and downs. SZA, the rounded wheels on this. Truthfully, this whole food cart here has round edges. This round light up here. And then, of course, the scene of the GNX where they shot this. Supporting this motif is the opening lyric, Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. If this world is mine, I take your dreams and make them multiply. 1 second applause. Such a beautiful song. Such a beautiful song. In the Bible, the number 7 is used to symbolize completion, perfection, and divine order. In Purple Hearts, another song about love, God, Kendrick sings rolling sevens. Now he's rolling sevens in a circular room. I didn't even catch this the first time. He's playing dice here, rolling sevens. That makes sense. I didn't even catch that image. This is dope. Dissect going in deep today. 1 second applause. Throughout the video, you'll notice quick flashes of circles reinforcing this central symbol. This mimics old film cue dots that signal a film reel change was about to occur. Yeah, we saw this at the beginning, but that was throughout the video too. You'll also notice throughout the video, there's an intentional use of soft edges to reflect the rounded shape of a circle. A few examples, the rounded corners of the window, the rounded pillars, rounded shadows. Now that you know, you'll notice it everywhere. Yeah, see here. Yeah, the pillars here. It is. I mean, it's throughout. I mean, honestly, my first look through it, it's something I felt. It's something I felt. I didn't comment on it in the reaction video, but it's very intentional. Dissected by Karina Evans, who also directed a handful of Drake videos, LOL. Luther adds to P.G. Lang's exquisite visual resume of intentional, powerful use of symbols and motifs to accentuate the video's overall message. Finn. 1 second applause. That's dope. So that's Dissect Podcast's interpretation of the circles, the arcs, the spheres, the rounded edges that are throughout the Luther video. Comments are interesting here too. Lil J, it's an N95 too, but could be nothing. Dissect says, good catch, less motivic, meaning in the N95, in the N95 video, I think it's supposed to say, in my opinion, but ties into the director's arm and the clapperboard. Birdman tried to troll him. The next, they're going to say triangles represent childhood trauma and parallelograms symbolize the IRS. He says, no, this is actually a good answer. Dissect says, no, the inverted triangle is classic symbol of feminine strength and creation. That's why the triangle is inverted at the Super Bowl when SZA is introduced. She's also joined by 6 other women, making a total of 7, completion, perfection. Dude tried to troll him and ended up coming away smarter. That's the best kind of troll. We can troll someone into self-improvement. 1 second applause to self-improvement. Right, so you had triangles at the Super Bowl too. I mean, obviously this is all connected to the PlayStation controller, the game, but the levels of depth continue even past the Super Bowl. Right, and so someone says, I'm scared to see what happens when someone makes a trapezoid joke. Right, so I mean, so you see the symbolism here. Now, big shout out to Joey, Gotham Hip Hop. He's a great channel to follow too. Both these guys, Dissect Podcast and Gotham Hip Hop. If you're on Twitter, if you're wherever Joey is, give him a follow. He covers hip hop online, a lot of news, a lot of deep dive stuff, really great stuff. Same thing with Dissect. I mean, everybody, Dissect should be necessary listening, necessary watching, however you engage in podcasting. Really, really phenomenal stuff. I can't underplay that enough. Like, so big shout out to both these guys. 1 second applause. But Joey says, circles in the Luther video equal harmony, balance, and timelessness. So he's referencing what Dissect, we just walked through what Dissect Podcast put out there. But Joey takes it a step farther. He says, squares in Not Like Us Squabble Up video equal violence and work it takes to achieve stability in the physical world. Meaning love is the way to escape the box of the physical and achieve harmony in the spiritual. Right, so here's again a couple of shots from the Luther video. You see the circles. And then here's the squares, the boxes and the squares all over Not Like Us, and the same thing. The same thing with Squabble Up video, which also ties to the Super Bowl, because the square, I think that's where they start in the Super Bowl performance. Joey points out the one time we see a square in the Luther vid is when Kendrick is shooting a gun and the GNX car is draped in red, like blood almost. So that's where I made the connection to violence and squares when the rest of the video featured circle symbolism. And this is a good catch. I mean, it's still kind of arced here. And I think if I was going to be picky, I would say the lights that are above SZA and her love interest, they're rectangular lights, but I see what you're saying, right? I mean, and perhaps this is another signal of something we've yet to see. Joey shouts out Dissect Podcast here. And then he says, I previously noticed the squares thing and didn't know for certain what it meant. And so you have a lot of squares here, which makes sense because these are two aggressive. One is the greatest diss track of all time, and another is an aggressive bop littered with subliminals. The circles is the love song, right? And so all of that leaves the next two shapes, right? Triangles, well, we saw the triangle at the Super Bowl. We saw all these shapes at the Super Bowl. But there is a lot of people anticipating a Peekaboo video now, because that is where Dot performed inside the X during the Super Bowl, was during the Peekaboo portion of that show. And there's other images of Dot shooting things around LA. There's an image of a GNX, it looks like it's at a gas station in LA. We haven't seen that yet. At the same time, you know, I had a source tell me he had a conversation with a guy who works in film and movies, whose wife was actually on the set for another video. They didn't say which video it was, or I'm not going to say which video it was, but there was. So, nevertheless, there is anticipation now that perhaps the Peekaboo video will have X's featured in it. Right now, that is a multi-layered song that has some wild theories around it, a wild analysis around it. And big shout out to Thought Crimes. They really started that conversation. There's a video on this channel that reacts to their video, but go follow Thought Crimes, follow them directly, go watch their stuff. They're always, you know, months, if not years ahead of where a lot of the conversations around a lot of different topics end up being. And so they broke down the connection between Peekaboo, GNX, XXXTentacion, Drake, and another track that was on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It was really, really great stuff. A lot of the things that they pointed out in their video, which came out in the middle of December, we saw again at the Super Bowl. So anticipation, the theory, the prediction is that there's going to be a Peekaboo video, and in that video, we should watch out for X's prominently placed around it. Because also that would bring completion to a lot of things that we saw at the Super Bowl, and perhaps with the overarching theme within this protracted, multi-layered creative rollout from diss tracks to Super Bowl performances to these videos, and the music itself. You know, perhaps bringing all of that together in sort of a massive piece of multi-layered performance art, which is really exciting to see. 1 second applause. I mean, just the level of depth and care that they've put into everything. It's really impressive, whether you're a fan or otherwise. It's really impressive to see this and see it transcend in so many different mediums. But look out for X's in the Peekaboo video. And look out for a Peekaboo video. I don't know if we're actually going to get it. AZ Chike was also teasing it. He was saying, manifesting a Peekaboo video. And AZ Chike has been recording things, right? And so, you know, it's a possibility. I would say it's a probability. I would say there's a significant probability that we would get a Peekaboo video. So keep that in mind. Now, I thought this was funny. He said, Kendrick shot the Luther video at this MF, the Power Rangers Command Center filming location. It's morphin' time. 1 second applause. A couple other things that you guys pointed out, actually, that I thought were worth sharing. The one thing about the song Luther, the sample, If This World Were Mine, is Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn. And it's probably featured in one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. All time, The Wood. Love The Wood. Love The Wood. Everybody should go watch The Wood today. Run the numbers up because that movie is so fantastic. It's probably my favorite coming of age story, to be honest. And so there's a scene in the movie where, you know, the love interest dance at a high school dance to If This World Were Mine with Luther. And the scene looks like this. So it looks like this, right? This is the scene here. And a number of you pointed out that this scene here from the video is reminiscent, if not an homage, to The Wood. Now, The Wood takes place in Inglewood. And so that's another California staple. All of these things that he's been leaning heavily into West Coast culture and California culture the entire year. And so I think that actually aligns. It was really subtle. I didn't catch it when I first reacted to this video. But, you know, me and, I can't remember who I was talking to about this. Was it Rambo Hustle I was talking to? I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were talking and he was like, man, I would love a Luther video to have, you know, to play off The Wood. And perhaps it really does. Perhaps he was correct when he said that. So 1 second applause to The Wood and to the subtle shout out to The Wood, if that is the case in the Luther video. 1 second applause. Now, Cheryl Lynn, again, she is also in the song with Luther Vandross, and she talked about her reaction to the success that Kendrick and SZA's Luther is having. And so here's her thoughts on it. Shout out to TMZ Hip Hop, shout out to Trent Clark, he broke the story on this. It says, Cheryl Lynn, Kendrick and SZA's Luther is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Now, she's not on camera here, but here's the quotes that she said. TMZ Hip Hop reached out to Cheryl Lynn, the veteran R&B powerhouse whose vocals from her 1982 duet with Luther Vandross, the late Luther Vandross, rest in peace Luther Vandross, 1 second applause. If This World Were Mine, were used to construct Luther as she pinpointed several reasons for Kendrick and SZA's latest success. Here's Cheryl Lynn here. Cheryl calls the track multi-generational, bold, captivating, and filled with passion, noting how the fusion of Kendrick and SZA's voices seemed to appeal to everyone. Old school meets new school with great respect. That's one of the things that hip hop in general used to do really well. You know, in the early years, there was a lot of criticism of hip hop because it sampled so heavy. It would sample, at that point, a lot of James Brown, a lot of Parliament Funkadelic, but a lot of songs from the 70s, you know, the 60s, and then it expanded to sampling all kinds of genres, right? And so it's a sample-based genre in itself. And there used to be a lot of criticism for hip hop, or rap music particularly, because, well, there was a lot of criticism for rap music at various points in time, but a lot of criticism because people at the time viewed there was a lack of originality in it. You know, you're taking other people's works and you're turning it into this other stuff, right? But I personally think that's one of the strengths of hip hop, that it is a sample-based culture that has been able to be so embracing and malleable to other sounds, other cultures. And that's one of the reasons why it's a global success. And I think that this sentence really captivates that. You know, she says, passion, noting how the fusion of Kendrick and SZA's voices seem to appeal to everyone, old school meets new school, with great respect. I think that's a great description of the best things about hip hop altogether. 1 second applause to Cheryl Lynn. The Got to Be Real singer says she's a firm believer that great music never dies. It simply lives, morphs, and evolves as ear candy that soothes the soul and warms the hearts of music lovers everywhere. Her calculations are fairly accurate. Luther is currently fast tracking to 1 billion streams on Spotify, and the music video, released on Friday, has already breached 1 million views and counting. Taking a 43-year-old song and flipping it into a new age classic shows hip-hop music's superpower, and Cheryl tells us it's been both a blessing and a humbling experience to witness the work she did with Vandross, inspired by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, being appreciated and applauded today in 2025. And I also think that's just another great connecting point with this song in general, right? Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, Luther Vandross, Cheryl Lynn, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. I mean, it's as it should be, as it should be. I think that's beautiful. And I think that also speaks to the harmony, the completion, the balance, the circles we see in the video, and the just immaculate display of the ups and downs, the circle of life of Black love at the same time. Cheryl says she owes her cemented career to God, as she's been getting embraced by the younger generation for some time now, including in the movie The Wood. Including in the movie In the Wood, which has got to be like 25 years old now. I can't remember if it came out in the early 2000s or the late 90s. Fantastic movie. Make sure you take a look at The Wood. 1 second applause. TikTok communities have been going hard with the Encore Challenge for over a year, inspired by one of Cheryl's greatest hits, right? So that's what Cheryl Lynn thinks about this. And Cheryl Lynn doesn't talk very often. I can't remember the last time I've seen her talk. And I think that probably speaks to the fact that this conversation wasn't on video, you know? So I think this is a really great piece of perspective to add to this song. So 1 second applause to Trent for getting that story. And the video has been moving, right? It came out April 11th. It's at 9 million views. 9 million views since April 11th, to put it in context. Drake's Nokia came out on March 31st, and it's at 10 million views, right? So, you know, you can see the velocity of Kendrick Lamar and the interest that Kendrick Lamar has ignited in his fandom, but I'd argue music lovers in general. You know, this was another surprise drop. If you go to his Twitter account, it's just links for the past eight or nine things that have come out since this great Shakespearean shakedown. Might be the greatest Twitter run of all time at the same time. And Luther and SZA continues that great run of success. He will be on tour coming up soon, so I think there's a lot to look forward to there. They've shot visuals for this tour. I know they shot a visual for TV Off as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be a separate visual for a video, or perhaps a visual that we'll see on stage with the tour. Point is, there's a whole lot more to look forward to and dissect when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, King Kendrick Lamar. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. Follow the Justin Hunt podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views that's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.